We welcome you to the Concacaf Under-20 Men's Championship from Tegucigalpa in Honduras and the National Stadium. It is St. Kitts and Nevis taking on Cuba. Mike Watts, happy to welcome you. There are a few ominous clouds hanging overhead, but hopefully, unlike yesterday, we'll get through without any harm from thunder and lightning. 65% chance of rain. It should at least sprinkle at some point here in Honduras today. Temperatures hovering in the mid-70s with significant humidity as well that may require cooling breaks. Let's take a look at Group E. The United States lead the way by goal difference, and they smashed St. Kitts and Nevis 10-0 on opening night of the tournament. Cuba and Canada gave us one of the great surprises in the earliest round of match days. Cuba, a 1-0 win, and they did it in spectacular fashion. That's why they're in second place, and that's why today they do in fact have a chance to officially qualify for the knockout stage. A draw would do the job, pending Canada and St. Kitts and Nevis having a winner. A draw there could still leave the door open for them to fall out at the end on 4 points. So with that in mind, let's turn to the match we have at hand here. St. Kitts and Nevis spent half of a year attempting to prepare for this week, and they got off to a difficult start. When you face the United States, twice the reigning champion of this tournament, the United States side definitely trying to prove a point, make a point. It will definitely sting all the worse once you've held them scoreless for about 20 minutes and then watch your entire hope of winning that game, having a chance at a result in that game, go up in smoke in the following 25 minutes. By the time halftime arrived, it was a total deluge, 6 goals, and way too much for St. Kitts and Nevis to fight back from. They do hope that today is their best chance to secure a victory, and if they manage to do that, they very much muddy the waters for everybody else in the group, knowing they'll face Canada in the finale. Meanwhile, this is a Cuban side without their starting goalkeeper. Why? He was sent off last game, but they had no more subs to use. So the young player, maybe not endowed with the greatest height, Kevin Martin, who's been on a scoring tear, had already bagged his goal in the 42nd and stepped into goal in the 74th minute and ultimately kept the clean sheet against the Canadians. It gave Cuba the opening 3 points on match day 1 and gives them a very clear path, including a win today, to guarantee their place in the knockout stage. This is a Cuban side with a ton of talent, but maybe not all that much experience on the grander stage. The expectation is today they take a massive step forward. St. Kitts and Nevis will try and postpone that at least for another 2 days' time. The referees making their way onto the field. You'll hear the anthem of the Concacaf Under-20 Championship, followed by that of St. Kitts and Nevis and Cuba. And for these young players, this is as grand a stage as many of them have ever played on. No, there's not tens of thousands of people here, but these walls, if they could tell stories of the great Honduran and CONCACAF matches of the past, they'd be screaming at the top of their lungs for these young players who dream of eclipsing moments like that in the future. It is the Under-20 Men's CONCACAF Championship, and this is match day 2 in Group E. It's St. Kitts and Nevis and Cuba. Here are the anthems and the pageantry.
Damas y caballeros, por favor, ponerse de pie a continuación. Los himnos nacionales. El himno nacional de St. Kitts y Nevis. continuación, el himno nacional de Cuba.
All right, we're closing in on kickoff here between St. Kitts and Nevis and Cuba. Here's a look at the lineup that Kevin Welsh has assembled for the occasion. There are two changes. James Dorset and Chad Liebert moved to the bench. Landrick Jones and Jolyon Burt enter the starting 11. This is a group that's only won one game, the under-20 level, and they're hoping that, like their match in 2018 against Canada, they can prevail again and perhaps make their way toward the knockout stage. The only player on a yellow card is Rocco Browning. Why does that matter? If Danian Parchment shows him another in this game, he'd be out for the final group stage game. Danian Parchment oversaw the Caribbean Club Shield between Bayamon and Inter Moenga earlier this year. He oversaw the Concacaf Olympic qualifying final last year and the Concacaf League final in 2020. There's a look inside the VAR room, staffed entirely by Costa Rican nationals. This is a crew ultimately made up of folks from Jamaica, Costa Rica, and Trinidad and Tobago. The captains meeting before we kick this off. Kalen Liebert alongside Darian Reyes. One last photo for posterity's sake. And a look at the starting lineup for Cuba. Yunelis Castillo sending out an 11 that was required to make one change in goal. Morgado unavailable, so only Alejandro Fernandez remains in the ranks with gloves. Martin, primary goal scorer. Luis Ciudad, however, is an outstanding goal scorer in his own right. Proved it during a pre-tournament run through Uruguay. The expectation is he could be quite dangerous today. He's the lone inclusion in the field who did not start last time out. Didn't even come off the bench. He plays for FC Santiago de Cuba. Eduardo Hernandez, the center back, is the lone player on a yellow card for Cuba. Danian Parchment skips toward the start. Who ends up being the hero for St. Kitts and Nevis? Can they spring an upset today and find their way onto the cusp of the knockout stage? Or will it be Cuba punching their ticket into the next round? A look inside the Cuban dugout. Immense talent. Does it show itself today? We begin another day at the Concacaf Under-20 Men's Championship. This is the first of two in Tegucigalpa. And here we go. It is Cuba, who are currently second in Group E, taking on St. Kitts and Nevis, who sit beneath the line in fourth. Rolled aside, Peñalver. Taken back briefly here by St. Kitts and Nevis, only to see Cuba into possession. Delgado ricochets down Fernandez. And an early free kick. And an early conversation. Landrick Jones. Nelis Castillo oversees the Cuban contingent. The country in its 14th appearance at the under-20 level, runners-up twice. They hope a run to the semifinals would bring them their second trip to the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. They did it in 2013, and there's Kevin Welsh, one of the best young coaches in St. Kitts and Nevis. Their third appearance here in this tournament, out in the group stage, both previous efforts. Mario Torres inching forward here for Cuba. It's Reyes driving it in front, dangerously so, and Torres was waiting at the close post, but it got out off of Hernandez. Look at Xander Park, who was on the wrong end of a 10-0 loss. Tears in his eyes as he graciously stood in front of the media post-game. He made a number of good saves. You can understand how tormented he was by the final result. But ultimately, he played well on a grand stage. Very few goalkeepers could have withstood that kind of avalanche of attacking pressure that the U.S. brought on the day. Kevin Fernandez. Peñalver comes down to Reyes. Captains the side. Reyes! Asking questions of Park. Injured player down in the middle of the field for St. Kitts and Nevis. Continues here for Cuba. On the run, Martin. And the injured player is Landrick Jones. Plays for Newtown United in St. Kitts. Look for him there. He takes the contact from Reyes. He's able to get back to his feet at the moment. Put in play here for Cuba. Ricocheting down multiple times now. And take it out of the air. Peñalver drives that off a St. Kitts player. It leads to a corner. Darian Reyes lines that to the top of the area, and a speared header angles wide. I don't know that ball ever stopped rolling. It appears Danian Parchment is equally unconvinced. Pass intercepted. High-stepping line of Cuba forces St. Kitts and Nevis in reverse. It's Cuban side at the senior level. They could only look at the group they were drawn and think, wow, this feels a little bit like their opening Nations League campaign. No, St. Kitts and Nevis weren't there, but the U.S. and Canada were. Cuba suffering 4 defeats, relegation, a goal difference of -18. Didn't manage a goal in the 4 games. Ciudad takes that all the way to the end line. But Cuba appears poised for a return to Nations League A in a group with Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda, and Barbados. They're already safe from relegation while they lost to the co-leader of the group away to Guadeloupe. Do host them in the finale, which could decide promotion and their place at the upcoming Gold Cup. This is good from Cuba. Bouncing down Landrick Jones. Maintains with Cuba. Away from Hernandez. Peñalver. We'll have a go. Broke down first possession really of any kind in the final third. St. Kitts and Nevis. Slid away from Liburd. Floated long, goalkeeper's out of his penalty area. Apparently quite comfortable doing so. Barnett trying to run this down. Hernandez. Lengthy center back playing in a holding midfield role. Whipped outside by Martin. Off the mark. And a throw and a respite here. Kyoto was working. Cuba's recovered it. Also there with Reyes. trotting through the middle, and Fernandez seeking the wide area. There were 4 white shirts approaching the box. Oh, a little more to that than we thought for Delgado. Peñalver bumped in over the top, touched away by Johnny Mills. Kalen Liebert. It's a bit direct, but Delgado was able to get it down. Martin. Ball blasted out of play by Landrick Jones. Rather by Luis Ciudad for Cuba. That's Jones. That'll roam too far for Jose Paradella, whose brother Luis has featured 25 times already for the senior national team. Ciudad, undeterred. Flicked forward by Torres. This is Group E of the 2022 Concacaf Under-20 Championship. A reminder of what's at stake. If you reach the semifinal, you'll be headed to the 2023 FIFA Under-20 World Cup in Indonesia. If you reach the final, you'll be headed to the 2023 Under-20 World Cup and the 2024 Paris Summer Olympics. Of course, ultimately the trophy at the end of the road, handed out July the 3rd, names you champion of CONCACAF. Reigning champion twice over, the U.S. are here in this group. Canada as well. This is Cuba and St. Kitts and Nevis playing their second game. The winner of Group E is going to face Nicaragua here in Tegucigalpa in the round of 16. And then the action moves to the Olympic Stadium in San Pedro Sula for the quarters, semis, and the final. Cuba has this under control. Peñalver away. Group E is matched up with Group G as it results for the knockout stage. Second place in E faces third place in G and vice versa. Group G made up of Panama, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Aruba. El Salvador and Panama appear to have the front-running pole positions there. Gaudy results against Guatemala and Aruba, respectively. Fernandez. It's actually the first meeting ever between these countries at the under-20 level. Torres floats diagonally. For St. Kitts and Nevis, it's only their 10th appearance in any game in this tournament. Outscored 33-9, number that's far more lopsided after their 10-0 defeat against the United States. 8 losses and a victory against Canada in 2018. Far more experience for Cuba in this age group. That deflects off of Alejandro Delgado. Cuba just a game below 500 in their 59 previous games. 23 wins, 24 losses, and a dozen draws. Cuba has dictated the pace and tempo of this game. And St. Kitts and Nevis has rarely allowed this to become transitional. They gave that away cheaply, however. Fernandez. Touches wide. Ball all the way across. Martin again! Kevin Martin is the man for the moment. Cuba has grabbed the lead in the 18th minute. He can score, he can keep goal, and he can dance. He's now scored in 6 of his last 7 games, the under-20 level for Cuba, and he's scored in both games so far in the group stage. He makes that late run in behind. Eyes going a different direction for Rocco Brownie. And that lapse of concentration allows a dedicated goal scorer like Kevin Martin through the open door. And Cuba leads 1-0 inside 20 minutes. Cuba has their hands on a ticket to the knockout stage. There's still much work to be done. But a win here today guarantees their place. They'll come down ultimately to a chance to win the group against the United States. What they'll need to do that remains to be seen. It depends the result against Canada. Of course, the result here. We've seen some unbelievable drama already. Jamaica getting a draw against Costa Rica in stunning fashion. That ball for Martin is nodded away. Penalty in the 8th minute of second half stoppage time. Runs in Pedro Sula. How about Delgado? Big rebound. Ciudad denied a second time now by Park. Of course, Cuba-Canada was a remarkable game, but Haiti and Trinidad and Tobago, 4-4 draw last night, was also remarkable in its own right. Gonna skim over the top and come out to Reyes, who is waiting on the backside. Romario Torres. Torres feathers this up. Nodded away, kept by Fernandez, down to Ciudad. Delgado. Off Martin. Well taken by Micah Garnett. There's no support there for St. Kitts and Nevis. Bounding through midfield. Free kick for Cuba. Headers away, Paradella no. And lashed at target, and with a little bit of English. Pulled in by Xander Park. Really didn't mince any words. Felt that some of the substitutes who had come on had brought some value to the game. Was looking for a better, more consistent St. Kitts and Nevis performance. Park primarily spent his time in Stoke City's academy over in England. A few players with experience playing outside of St. Kitts. Shove from Myers. Park. To Romario Torres. And now Reyes. It's much talked about. They might be young legs, but it doesn't mean that playing at this level of competition for potentially 270 minutes in a span of 5 days is easy. There's a conservation effort that needs to occur. In the case of St. Kitts and Nevis, they went 4 deep off the bench last game and only made 2 changes to their starting 11. Cuba's case, they had 4, but they also played down a man the final 20 minutes. A lot of stoppage time at the tail end of that game after VAR ultimately deemed the red card was necessary for the goalkeeper. Give and go, Reyes. Problem for St. Kitts and Nevis right now is they're coiled up like a spring, but they've shown no real ability to play direct once they win the ball, and that's if they win the ball. Cuba's largely been fairly conservative. Haven't turned it over in dangerous places. Reyes working the give and go, and here's an opportunity for St. Kitts and Nevis, full speed ahead. Well played centrally, Burt slipped ahead, flag was down, well recovered by Torres. It's very much a cat and mouse game being played right now. Caradella switched onto this near flank. That'll skip free. Liebert is giving chase. He captains the side. A regular in the national team setup. Liebert features in St. Kitts for Old United FC. Back by Jones. Jones now. It's good interchange. And down the near touchline, Brownie on the run. Kept in. Reyes shrugs off the tackle and continues. Reyes everything but a goal contribution in his effort against Canada. Powering through Torres. What an effort by Garnett. Garnett attempting to slide it through. Recovered here again by St. Kitts and Nevis. Burt, oh, it's a good save from Fernandez. Pressed into service with Morgado's red card last time out. Fernandez makes a strident stop. Well, Garnett putting in all this effort. And out pops, hey, Burt. Burt having a go. Hernandez. Martin. Well, Martin has to be on some radars now after this performance. Putting on the gloves last game was impressive, but that's not really the point. Half an hour in. It appears we've reached the, well, Danny and Parchment having words here. Garnett and Alejandro Delgado. Ah, there it is. It appears we won't have a cooling break today, which is a departure from the last 2 days here in Honduras. The temperature is about 5-10 degrees lower. It appears for now we haven't hit that threshold. But every club in this region is looking for the next star. Ball through, that's out for corner here for Cuba. Maybe it is Kevin Martin, but it could be any player on this field. Performance here certainly causes coaches and technical directors to seek out a little more. I spoke to one club president earlier today describing watching some of these under-20 matches. Ball driven by Reyes. Off the body of Brownie, let that out. No mistake, if you can really crack it at the under-20 level in Concacaf, there will be clubs intrigued by your potential. Nisbet's been quiet. Header away. We'll allow it to Brownie. Park doing well. Reyes. Ciudad curling for target. Cuba's held the lead now since the 18th minute. Kevin Martin, his second goal of the tournament, after his goal sank Canada on opening day. Has a chance, with a game to spare, bring Cuba into the knockout stage of the Under-20 Concacaf Men's Championship. Splitting through Delgado. And again met by Rocco Brownie. Cross header skews over from Eduardo Hernandez. And a goal kick for St. Kitts and Nevis. Good news for them in Nations League C after having been relegated from a group with Grenada, French Guiana, and Belize. Remarkably, with a neutral goal difference in the opening round of Nations League at the senior level. St. Kitts and Nevis have responded quite well. This is Cuba into the final third. Ball ricochets out. Brownie will take over. They're in a position to advance with a win or potentially a draw against Aruba, the senior level back to Nations League B, and are in that preliminary Gold Cup position. Injured player down here for St. Kitts and Nevis, grabbing the back of that right leg. That's William Bird. Oh, Reyes catching him with his cleat and that downward push. Sock might be headed for the scrap heap. St. Kitts and Nevis have looked better over the last 15 minutes since conceding. This has been Cuba's game to this point. One would imagine St. Kitts and Nevis didn't arrive anticipating an advantage in possession. %66%, 2/3 of the possession here to Cuba to this point. They've outshot St. Kitts and Nevis 13-1. Without doubt, today asks a very different question of the Cuban under-20s. Against Canada, they ceded 70% of the possession. Ultimately made it extraordinarily difficult for Canada to create much in the final third once they arrived there. One would imagine it'll be a similar night against the United States. Martin, Reyes, throw for Cuba. The Lions of the Caribbean, as they're known, seeking their second World Cup appearance at the under-20 age group. Martin is impeded. Ultimately, they'll get right by. Torres. Fernandez toward the corner, and this curled well over. That 2013 FIFA Under-20 World Cup that saw Cuba in was played in Turkey, saw France win their first title at this level. And to nobody's surprise, that success certainly translated come France's eventual Senior World Cup victory. Uruguay finished the runners-up. Ghana and Iraq finished third and fourth. Cuba, 3 losses in the group stage: Portugal, Nigeria, and South Korea. That was an extraordinarily difficult group to draw. Did come close to South Korea, 2-1. They led in that game. That was the opener in the group. It was a World Cup in which El Salvador, Mexico, and the U.S. were also entrants from Concacaf. You always hope that a few of these under-20s pan out. In the case of the under Under-20 team for France in 2013 that played in the same tournament that Cuba qualified for. Talking about names like Umtiti and Pogba, Kurt Zuma. Racing to the edge of the area and held calmly by Park. Certainly in the case of St. Kitts and Nevis in Cuba, if you can find a way to see 5, 6, 7 of these players into the senior national team with regularity in the long run, you might look back at this tournament as the beginning of a golden era for one country or the other. With St. Kitts and Nevis in the final 3 minutes before stoppage time. Canadian Parchment, ever the peacemaker. Canadian Parchment, part of the Refereeing Center for Excellence in Concacaf a few years ago. A physical education teacher is native Jamaica. For Brownie and away. Header back set. Chiuda sent it toward Fernandez, who's been steady. This is an odd man opportunity here. And ultimately, St. Kitts and Nevis have quelled that excellently. Be a second in this for Cuba before the halftime break. Ciudad. Run never materialized. Fernandez sought to bring it down. Reyes gets the return and he'll chase that all the way back to Park. Takes us into stoppage time. One added minute. Fourth official is Ricardo Montero, who featured in the center 2 days ago here. Stoppage time where the wheels fell off for St. Kitts and Nevis. Luckily for them, after VAR was their ultimate Achilles heel, it did correctly change 2 calls on the field. Danger coming out the goalkeeper. It's going to go the other way. Fernandez punching through and Zion Nisbet running in. Yes, he does get the ball first, without question. If he doesn't and he gets the player, we're having a conversation with VAR. Instead, we find ourselves headed to halftime. Mountainous terrain in the background And a rocky start for St. Kitts and Nevis. Martin has scored again for Cuba, and he hopes that's the most eventful occasion of the day here in the Concacaf Under-20 Championship. And here in Tegucigalpa, Cuba is halfway toward their goal of qualifying for the knockout stage. It is halftime in Tegucigalpa. The score in this second group stage match in Group E, Cuba 1, St.
Concacaf app. No matter where you are or who you're rooting for, you can watch your favorite competitions, teams, and players on the go. Get the latest news on all things Concacaf. Get access to stats, play-by-play, players' information, schedule, and standings. Get instant notifications and alerts. Discover other fans like you. And show your support in social media with our exclusive camera filters. All of that and much more. Take your Concacaf experience to the next level. Download now the official Concacaf app, available on the App Store and Google Play. The official Concacaf app. No matter where you are or who you're rooting for, you can watch your favorite competitions, teams, and players on the go. Get the latest news on all things Concacaf. Get access to stats, play-by-play, players' information, schedule, and standings. Get instant notifications and alerts. Discover other fans like you. And show your support in social media with our exclusive camera filters. All of that and much more. Take your Concacaf experience to the next level. Download now the official Concacaf app. Available on the App Store and Google Play. Concacaf app. No matter where you are or who you're rooting for, you can watch your favorite competitions, teams, and players on the go. Get the latest news on all things Concacaf. Get access to stats, play-by-play, players' information, schedule, and standings. Get instant notifications and alerts. Discover other fans like you. And show your support in social media with our exclusive camera filters. All of that and much more. Take your Concacaf experience to the next level. Download now the official Concacaf app. Available on the App Store and Google Play. the official Concacaf app. No matter where you are or who you're rooting for, you
Noda, who have come on for Cuba as they look to protect a 1-goal lead here in the Concacaf Under-20 Championship. Beautiful Honduras. The sun is still shining, but there are some clouds that give you a reminder of yesterday's rainy conclusion. Hopefully those will only find their way into the equation between the games here in Tegucigalpa today. Danny Parchment, whistle to mouth, ready to send us into the second half. Blown whistle from the Jamaican referee, and on to the second half we go. St. Kitts and Nevis in green, Cuba in white tops, blue shorts. Upward and onward here in Honduras. Cuba is en route to qualification for the knockout stage and the round of 16 in some capacity. Could finish anywhere first through third if this result holds for St. Kitts and Nevis. They would desperately need the U.S. to knock off Canada later today, and then they would need to get a win, likely against Canada. A draw almost assuredly wouldn't do the job, pending the result, of course, today. Goal difference being the operative tiebreaker. Ball comes out here to Palma. There was a change here. Appears to be for Cuba. Try and keep an eye on this here. Protier moves in up front. That's it for Fernandez. Cuba made that trio of changes at halftime. Throw for Delgado. And here come the Cubans. Ball rolled through. Protier. The goal in this match, Kevin Martin, in the 18th minute. Scored in the 42nd minute. Proved to be the lone goal against Canada last time out. It's good from St. Kitts and Nevis. It's enough to win a free kick in a dangerous position at that. Burt has shown good moments. He had the only shot on target for St. Kitts and Nevis in the first half. Took a pretty remarkable save from Alejandro Fernandez to deny him. Service through for St. Kitts and Nevis, and a header steered just off frame. Burt with another good look. How in the world does he find himself with this much space? Chiuta runs through It appears he's the target. And yeah, there's a little confusion there from Peñalver. Ball across here for Cuba will go beyond Nora, who started last time out and moves off the bench here at halftime. And an injured Cuban player early in the half. That's Alejandro Delgado. Who gained the captain's armband. Darren Reyes came off at the half. So the subs were Paradello, Reyes, and Fernandez coming off. Noda, Trutier, and Angel coming in. Watch that ankle. Yeah. Slide in there at the end, caught him. Swept upfield by Palma. Ciudad. Palma. Ciudad. Curl toward the post. Park had that red. No imminent danger. Over the top. And the whistle blew. Trutier was offside. Good officiating to let that play out. The ARs in this tournament getting the additional benefit of VAR for the first time in the Concacaf Under-20 Men's Championship. Of Costa Rica, and her assistant Juan Gabriel Calderon. Costa Rica handling the VAR duties. Mills. A draw would do Cuba a lot of good. Doesn't really do a lot for St. Kitts and Nevis at this stage. A draw for Cuba combined with a U.S. win against Canada tonight would actually see Cuba into the knockout stage as well on the 4 points. It's a long way from goal for Ciudad. Swung that in, and Martin went for the all-world finish. It's audacious. It doesn't look like that ever crossed the line. It certainly was close. Gave the goal kick. Unheld through. Slide in by Johnny Mills before Osneil Truthier could get there. Going to run over the top of Park, who waved at it. Go for Palma. Whipped over Peñalver. There's no advantage to be played, and the referee bring play back. Jonathan Myers initially gestured at his head, now helped up. Martin wrapping onto his left boot. Referee appears poised to show yellow. Myers' heel grinding in. First yellow card issued in this match.
He wants to stay out, right? He wants.
Free kick for Cuba. That bounces in front and pushed away. Park left some work to be done. And another free kick here for Cuba. This one earned the hard way by Ray Angel. Watch Delgado, he was the target last time. Ball headed down and over the line, Hernandez. And Cuba's got 1 foot in the knockout stage. A second goal insurance after an hour against St. Kitts and Nevis. And Cuba off and running in the Under-20 Concacaf Championship. Well, they had 2 coinciding runs in the back post. No one's defending either player. And Eduardo Hernandez, a head taller than most everybody in the penalty area, with his simple a finish, as he'll get at this level. Cuba 2, St. Kitts and Nevis 0. Ball lined in front. Karam's off of Truthier. Goal came in the 60th minute. And St. Kitts and Nevis, dire straits as it pertains to this game. They'll have their eyes, if this scoreline holds, firmly on the U.S. and Canada tonight. But Cuba, with their upset of Canada in the first game of the tournament, have put themselves in position to reach 6 points and assure themselves a top 3 place. They could potentially be fighting the U.S. for the outright title of the group in 2 days' time here in Tegucigalpa. Taken away. Garnett. Long run. Connection made by Liburd. Don't think there's anything in that. Delgado, however, sliding in with Liburd in full swing. And both players remain down. So the live standings would look like this. Cuba would be on 6 points, top of the group. St. Kitts and Nevis on goal difference beneath Canada. Canada in third, the United States in second. The U.S. and Canada will each play their second group stage game later tonight here in Tegucigalpa. There's another look at the second goal, which came in the 60th minute. Tremendous service. And a simple header for Eduardo Hernandez. As the stretcher may well be put to use here for the injured Alejandro Delgado. Once Reyes came off, he had the captain's armband. Ronald Sanchez is likely here and is now the 4th substitute for Cuba. They made a triple change at halftime. No mistake, that is a devastating loss for Cuba if it stretches through the remainder of the tournament in any capacity. But if the U.S. were to win tonight against Canada, Canada would also be on 0 points. They'd be ahead of St. Kitts and Nevis, almost certainly on goal difference. And all you'd need is a draw if you're Canada against St. Kitts and Nevis to get through. A win would assure that position. If they get a draw against the U.S., a win would do it, and a draw would do it as well. So really, truth of the matter, Canada doesn't really benefit all that much by a draw as it pertains to finding their way out of the group. It's a good little bounce. Nisbet. Burt has had good moments. Burt rolls it in front. Hold-up play broke down. But assuming the U.S., given their performance against St. Kitts and Nevis, they certainly have looked the part of the group favorite. If they handle their business against Canada tonight, we would essentially have a play-in game on the last day in two forms. Group winner would come down to Cuba and the U.S., and the third and final place in the knockout stage out of Group B would be between St. Kitts and Nevis and Canada, where draws would almost assuredly benefit the United States and Canada. Ball lays through here all the way to the end line for Cuba. They're looking for another. Didn't come there for Sanchez. Myers pushes it away. Palma. Stabbed at by Mills, corner Cuba. No time like the present here. Chad Liburd set to enter. Well, it's going to be 3 changes. Dorsett's coming in. That's it for Landrick Jones. Here's Burt's day is done the way he's been carried off. Kaja Burnham entering as well. First 3 changes for St. Kitts and Nevis. Nisbet comes off, and yes, Burt is done. Corner Ciudad. That header's over from Hernandez. So the 3 changes there at the stoppage for St. Kitts and Nevis. Burnham, Chad Liburd, and Dorsett enter. Jones, Burt, and Nisbet come off. Angel. Still another 20 minutes to play. Torres. Run. Sanchez. Steered out Dorset. Now through Palma. Dorset is there. As far as Ciudad. Noda. Service across off that corner. That time it was Peñalver they were looking for from the end line. That was kept in by Martin, who is the third player to wear that captain's armband today. Reyes off at halftime, Delgado off injured. He wins another corner for Cuba. Ball across, header again, Hernandez reaching up. And it's Peñalver who puts it in. Peñalver is the one who's got the goal. It's a third for Cuba. And in the 73rd minute, Cuba is well on their way to the knockout round. Two players went up for it. Peñalver's the one who ultimately made contact by Park. Two set-piece goals for Cuba. And now tonight, if you're St. Kitts and Nevis, almost assuredly you'll be hoping that the U.S. take points from the occasion against Canada. This is St. Kitts and Nevis to the end line. Bad effort from Micah Garnett at the end. And then they'll hope to get a win. Draw likely won't do it. Against Canada in the group finale in 2 days here in Tegucigalpa. This game was sort of the linchpin of how crazy this group was or wasn't going to be. This should make for some very clear and decisive outcomes come match day 3 in Group E. Good ball through Martin. Martin off of Park. Noda. Hernandez. Benyalver. Palma. Yellow card comes out. Second issued in this game. We'll go to Trutier, first of the tournament. Is there another here for Cuba? They've opened this up now. It's Martin across and over the line. It is the fourth for Cuba. Johnny Mills couldn't deal with it. And Cuba turning this into a runaway. Cuba 4, St. Kitts and Nevis 0. It is an own goal for Mills in the 77th minute. Daquan Joseph comes on, and Chiuta comes off. Chiuta, who's reportedly had some training stints in England and Australia. 19-year-old will conserve energy from here for what's potentially going to be a showdown for a chance at the knockout stage, as miraculous as it may be, all considered. Ciudad wants one himself. Palma, open header, back post, and Cuba's piling it on. Romario Torres. St. Kitts and Nevis have now conceded 15 goals over their two-game stint in the tournament. And once the floodgates have opened, both the USA and Cuba have been more than willing to accept the opportunity to add to their scoring totals. 4 different Cuban goal scorers. Own goal mixed in as well. Torres in the 79th minute. Cuba. What an opportunity. There is a decent chance here. It would be assured if the U.S. were to at least take a point off of Canada tonight. They would assuredly be in the top two. There's a yellow card to Burnham. Oh yeah, absolutely. Not once, but twice. Referee stopping play. Yeah, change here for Cuba. This is their last one. Kevin Quinones for Kevin Martin, who gets a much-deserved rest. And there will be a fourth player wearing the captain's armband for Cuba in this one game. It does appear we're destined for a USA-Cuba finale that would decide the group winner. Cuba, at this stage, would almost assuredly have to win it. As if the U.S. was to beat Canada tonight, the 2E position would face 3G in the round of 16. Right now, that would either be Guatemala or Aruba. Trutier, can he get one? Tight angle, cut it back. Panama and El Salvador are also in that Group G. So it could be a very beneficial draw here for Cuba, and then all of a sudden have a chance to get one game away from the Under-20 World Cup just by reaching the semifinal. Win that game through, of course, to the Paris Olympics, this acting as Olympic qualifying this year. Short corner, Ciudad. Liburd was all alone up there. Quinones, another challenge, another whistle, another trip to the top pocket. And a yellow card to Morris. Goals off set pieces. Only broke this open in the 60th and the 72nd minute. Hernandez and Peñavel. Melver scored in the 72nd, Hernandez in the 60th. Keep your eye on Luis Ciudad. He can score some pretty magnificent goals, and that left foot could try and test Park, who seems to be giving a lot of attention to the big bodies parading near the penalty spot. Angel, whistle apparently had not blown. That was simply to allow play to continue. The other way by Park. St. Kitts and Nevis looking for a goal here. Oh, good run here for Cuba. nutmegging from the end line. Trutier, that's blocked by Mills. From distance, Palma. Garnett. Joseph. Bird. Be a free kick to St. Kitts here. There are two games at Estadio Morazan in San Pedro Sula this afternoon. This is the last change for St. Kitts and Nevis. End of the line for Micah Garnett. And the pride of St. John's University in New York City comes off. That's Shaheem Prentice who comes on. Over in San Pedro Sula this afternoon. Early game Antigua and Barbuda and Costa Rica. Good run ahead, Palma touches through and scooped up by Park. He's looking for Quinones. He's a real danger man there. The late game is Jamaica and the host country, Honduras. Should be a fun fixture. That may be decisive. Potentially for the #1 spot. Honduras, the only team on 3 points in that group. And later tonight here, Yanks of the U.S. and the Canucks of Canada will tussle yet again in a North American rivalry renewed at the under-20 level. Canada and the U.S. meeting for just the second time in the modern era of the Concacaf under-20s. Palma. Angel. Turning, Quinones. Angel, yes! What a goal! Ray Angel with the exclamation point for Cuba. A wonder strike from the 19-year-old from La Habana. Cuba 6, St. Kitts and Nevis 0. Angel with the finisher. A tremendous finale to a 90-minute fireworks show from Cuba. And on to stoppage time. 2 added minutes. Torres. All eyes turn to the U.S. and Canada tonight in this group. For Cuba, they'll find out what they need. If Canada and the U.S. ultimately finish level, Cuba only needs, rather, a draw against the U.S. to secure the top of the group. If the U.S. wins, Cuba would need a victory. This goal difference, not enough. For a draw to see them top of the group. For St. Kitts and Nevis, a draw in that game would require a win. It would take a very heavy Canadian loss for a draw to see St. Kitts and Nevis through when they play Canada in 2 days' time. They almost assuredly need to beat Canada, because it's highly unlikely that the U.S. will beat Canada 15-0. That is full time. That is the sound of Cuba securing their place in the round of 16 at the Concacaf Under-20 Championship. And now St. Kitts and Nevis will need to wait to find out what they need in 2 days' time against Canada if they're to have any hope of a miraculous move on to the round of 16. Cuba gets the job done in a multitude of ways in the run of play, off set pieces, a deserved victory. They have 6 points from 2 games, and they have secured a place out of Group E in the top 3, and surely on now to the knockout phase. For our entire team in Honduras and beyond, this is Mike Watts saying thanks for joining us in Tegucigalpa in Group B. The third game of 6 in the group. The final score, Cuba 6, St. Kitts and Nevis 0. So long for now.